Our regularly scheduled programming will not be seen today so that we may bring you the Philadelphia Phillies versus the Colorado Rockies.
Everybody from Mile High Stadium in Denver. Welcome to Phillies baseball. This afternoon, the final game of the series, the Phils and the Colorado Rockies. It'll be Tommy Green for the Phillies and Lance Painter for Colorado. Harry Callis along with Rich Ashburn and Andy Musser on a gorgeous afternoon for baseball. Whitey Lenny Dykstra is really picking it up. He's second now in the league in runs scored and has a modest hitting streak of 7 games. But I think that he can't wait to get out of here because of center field. You were a center fielder. How tough is it to play in this park?
Well, I never played here, but obviously it's a Grand Canyon out there. You can't play shallow because the ball carries so well. And he said to me the other night, he said, you never would want to have played center field in this ballpark. You don't know where to play, Harry. The grass is thick out there. It's hard to get a ball and throw a guy out because you're playing so deep. But I think he can probably play it as well as anybody out there, and you do have to make a lot of adjustments, though.
He says it's hard to pick the ball up here, and it's going to be particularly hard today with a high sky. Tommy Green's 6-0, Andy, and you can't say enough about him, or for that matter, the entire starting rotation.
Well, that's true, Harry. Tommy himself is coming off 3 straight complete game performances. If you check the top 5 in earned run average, the Phillies have 2 pitchers there, Tommy, who is under 2, and also Curt Schilling. I would say, though, that this ballpark this afternoon is going to be a test for a 2 earned run average.
It certainly is. Tommy Green, though, can hit. He might hit one out of here. It'll be Tommy Green going against Lance Painter. Back with the starting lineups after these messages.
The Phillies and the Colorado Rockies is being brought to you by Budweiser. Fresh, pure, natural, proud to be your Bud. By Mellon PSFS, the official bank of the Phillies. By the Bell of Pennsylvania Yellow Pages. No other book can match it. A Bell Atlantic company. And by Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield. Carry us for life.
Bud Light Spotlight is rolling back into New Jersey, and that means you could be the star of a Bud Light commercial.
You guys leave me your commercial. I'm Hollywood material. Ain't that right, baby?
I love my Bud Light. I love it.
Bud Light. Bud Light.
Just look for the Bud Light Magic Truck and the Bud Light Film Crew.
What would I do to be in a Bud Light commercial?
And get ready to see your name in lights.
There's a new feeling sweeping the state, peace of mind. Because now people who couldn't afford health coverage can get special care from Blue Cross and Blue Shield. It's the most affordable coverage available to families and individuals who earn too much for Medicaid but can't afford coverage on their own. If you're uninsured, your peace of mind is just a phone call away. Call 1-800-248-5200.
What could 4 minutes cost if your 800 service goes down? If you're big in the travel business, $240,000. But with us, nobody misses the boat. Introducing the AT&T 800 service Never Miss a Call guarantee. Now, if there's a problem, we can reroute your calls in less than a second. Sign up for the Never Miss a Call guarantee. It's the #1 reason with AT&T 800 service. It's always smooth sailing. AT&T, the best in the business. Guaranteed.
Another big crowd on hand here at Mile High Stadium in Denver, where they're averaging over 54,000 per opening. Colorado Rockies have some great fans here, and they're really loyal to the Rockies despite the poor start by this expansion club. And it's It's a glorious afternoon for the final game of this series.
Yeah, they don't seem to boo much here. They just kind of sit back and enjoy whatever is happening. They're so glad to get the Major League Baseball out here. Have a new stadium that'll be ready in 1995. It's just a stone's throw from where we are now.
This ballpark will hold over 76,000. They have had 80,000 for their home opener. They put in temporary additional seating. Colorado Rockies now taking the field. Behind the left-hander Lance Painter. Jim Fragosi's lineup this afternoon has Lenny Dykstra, center fielder, leading off. Mariano Duncan, second base, bats second. John Kruk, first base, hitting third. Dave Hollins, third baseman, batting fourth. Darren Dalton, catching, hitting fifth. Pete Incaviglia in left field, bats sixth. Wes Chamberlain, right fielder, batting seventh. Kim Batiste, shortstop, hits eighth. And batting ninth and pitching Tommy Green. They'll be facing the left-hander Lance Painter.
Painter is 1-0-1 on the season, excuse me, but his ERA is very, very high, 10.61. He's only pitched 9 1/3 innings. He's given up a lot of hits and, of course, a lot of runs. They keep moving these guys in and out of the bullpen.
Defensively behind Painter, Charlie Hayes at third, Nelson Liriano at shortstop, Eric Young at second, and Andres Galarraga at first. Doing the catching today is Danny Schaefer. In the outfield from left to right, Darrell Boston in left field, Alex Cole in center, and Dante Bichette will be in right. Umpires this afternoon, Steve Ripley calls the balls and strikes. Tom Hallion at first base, Jim Quick at second, and Ron Barnes will umpire at third. 87th birthday wishes today to Maud Menser from Ephrata, Pennsylvania. Great Phillies fan, celebrating with her daughters in Mount Gretna, Pennsylvania. Don Baylor, manager of these Rockies. And Jim Fregosi has had a very enjoyable season so far. Phillies with the best record in baseball. Lenny Dykstra leads it off. Dykstra hitting at .262. He has a 7-game hitting streak, hitting .400 in the last 7. Takes it upstairs for a ball. Painter throws fastball, curveball. His best pitch is a changeup. He had good numbers at the AAA level at Colorado Springs prior to being called up. In the air to left field. That'll stay in the park as Boston makes the grab in front of the warning track. Painter at Colorado Springs was 4-2. His ERA was a fine 2.16. He's a University of Wisconsin product. 4th pick in the 2nd round of the expansion draft from San Diego. 25 years old. He comes from Milwaukee. Mariano Duncan is batting at .223. On strike to Dunk. Joseph Blaufeski of Maple Shade celebrating his 80th birthday today. Missing a little bit low and away.
Tom and Tiny Red Miles in Bryn Athyn, PA. Golden wedding anniversary today.
On the outside corner with a fastball. Check swing foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Duncan with 1 out. Teresa and Jack Kirkpatrick, their 40th anniversary today. Parents of Eileen McLaughlin, who works at Veterans Stadium. Beats another ball foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One out, no base runners here in the top half of the 1st inning. Terry Mulholland, the first pitcher in the National League to pitch a shutout in this ballpark. Area put out in the outfield behind Mulholland yesterday. He was really sharp.
And they didn't figure that he'd go that far and speculated that he might not even start.
Bouncing ball to Charlie Hayes. Takes time to get rid of it, but still gets Duncan by a step. 2 down, and that'll bring up John Kruk.
And Charlie had a little pause right there, but Charlie has a good arm. Duncan out by part of a stride. He's hurt his leg here the other day, but he seems to be all right. He got down the line in a hurry.
Brings on John Kruk. Krucker hitting .368, third best in the league. Takes a breaking ball on the outside corner. Kruk's been hot lately. .452 in his last 18 games. Another breaking ball misses. 1-1.
Leon Wingate in Millsboro, Delaware. A birthday today from his family. Greetings.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Kruk. A bit high. In the 38-year minor league history of this ballpark, there has never been a no-hitter pitched in it. In the 38-year minor league history, just one hitter, that thrown by Ryan Duran. So this is truly a hitter's park. Full count. Struck him out with a 3-2 breaking ball. A 1-2-3 inning for Painter. No runs, hits, errors, and none left after 1/2 Bills nothing. Colorado coming to bat.
A truly sophisticated automobile can tell you a lot about itself. In the placement of its controls and switches, in their feel and ease of operation, in the information the car gives you. Every thoughtful detail of the Intrepid's instruments ensures that you'll never be in the dark. Intrepid. This changes everything.
I remember last year, honey, when we were moving.
Right.
Well, she called us and said if we put both our new house and car policies with her, we would save money.
Well, we have so many choices at Nationwide, and my job is to make you aware of your options.
She was always there with an answer.
That's the way we're trained, to be very knowledgeable and to be there when people really need you the most. And that's important.
Agents like Margaret are Nationwide.
Nationwide is on your side.
It's a really big and colorful beach towel, free for kids 14 and under, courtesy of Mellon PSFS, Sunday, June 6th at 1:35, when the Phillies play the all-new Colorado Rockies. Reserve your tickets in advance. Call 463-1000.
Lineup for the Colorado Rockies this afternoon of Don Baylor. Eric Young, second baseman, leads off. Alex Cole, center fielder, bats second. Dante Bichette in right field hitting third. Andres Galarraga, the first baseman, bats fourth. Darrell Boston, left field, hitting fifth. Charlie Hayes, third base, bats sixth. Danny Schaefer, the catcher, hitting seventh. Nelson Liriano will be at shortstop, batting eighth, and batting ninth and pitching Lance Painter. They're facing Tommy Green.
6-0. His ERA at 1.98. He also leads in opponent's batting average at 179. And this is a guy that they didn't know what he would do in spring training. He just come off that arm problem and arm surgery, some tendonitis. He's been a horse.
He certainly has. Defensively behind Tita Green, Dave Hollins at third, Kim Baptiste at shortstop, Mariano Duncan at second, John Kruk at first, Darren Dalton catching. In the outfield, Pete Incaviglia in left, Lenny Dykstra in center, and Wes Chamberlain in right. Eric Young leads it off. Young batting at 264. He's second in the league in triples with 5 of them. Darren Lewis of San Francisco has 6 to lead the league. Young coming over from the Dodgers in the expansion draft. One strike to Eric Young. Dodgers have an 11-game winning streak going into their game at Pittsburgh today. They trail 1-0 in that one after 4. Only 3 pitchers have won more than Tommy Green this year. Andy Bennis, John Burkett, and Tom Glavine all have won 7 games. Glavine going for his 8th today against San Francisco. And he has a 3-1 lead through 5 innings. Three straight complete games for Tommy Green. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bouncing foul, third base side. Jerry Royster, the third base coach. Ron Hasse is the first base coach for Don Baylor. Bouncing ball shortstop. Baptiste will have to hurry. Took a while to get it out of his glove, but got him by a half a step. 1 down. That'll bring on Alex Cole.
A little hesitation, you're right, in getting the throw off, but he really gunned it. Made a good throw to Kruk. That base is about 2 feet too long for Duncan and Young in this game so far. 90 feet between the bases. It was just the right distance, it seems.
1 ball and no strikes to Alex Cole. Cole hitting at .255.
You wonder why they made the distance from the mound to the plate 60 feet 6 inches. Why not 60 feet? Why not 61 feet? Where'd they? That's cutting it pretty fine, that 6 inches.
It's only perfect. 2 balls and a strike to Alex Cole. Karen Monzo of Lansdale, Pennsylvania, birthday today. 3-1. 80th birthday wishes and a speedy recovery, just recovering from heart surgery, Judge George Ivins. Full count to Cole.
And Michelle Skonauer, I believe it is. Birthday on this beautiful May 30th. We understand it's beautiful in Philadelphia.
He's out of there. Cole called out on strikes. Tommy Green coming into play, 4th in the league in strikeouts. That's his 58th.
Froze him with that fastball inside corner. Had a little tail. That was a good pitch. It had plenty of the plate.
Brings on Dante Bichette. He's hitting at .300. Third base, Dave Hollins throws across in plenty of time. A 1-2-3 inning for Tita Green. No runs, hits, errors, and none left. At the end of 1, 0-0.
Infinity wondered what would happen if a luxury car stepped outside the traditional lines. Their designers drew an oval to create a cocoon-like feeling, pierced by an arc to project motion. That beautifully simple concept led to something simply beautiful, the J30. Visit your Infiniti showroom and see what a luxury car looks like when it has a personality.
Make a note to make history when the Colorado Rockies come to town for the first time. Friday, June 4th, Saturday, June 5th, and get a big beach towel free 1:35 Sunday afternoon, June 6th. Then it's the Astros, June 7th, 8th, and 9th. Order your tickets in advance. Call 463-1000.
For years now, Mr. Krylon Spray Paint's been showing you how to get a professional finish, while I've been taking to the cleaners. Well, no more. Krylon's easy. Go play with your tarantula. I'll spray it here, the other leading brand there. Krylon's smooth, no runs, no drips, no airs, and dries to the touch in 12 minutes. The other brand's tacky.
Hey, Ron.
Have a seat.
Hey, great, thanks,
How you doing?
Good. I gotta go spray paint.
Don't get any paint on you.
Now, for a limited time, get $3 back on Rust Tough from Krylon at participating retailers.
After 1 inning of play, the Phillies nothing and Colorado nothing. Upcoming Phillies telecasts include Monday and Tuesday nights from Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. Both games start at 7:30 and can be seen right here on PHL 17. Dave Hollins leads it off. Hollins hitting at .304. Batting .387 right-handed. He's third in the league in RBIs with 41. Breaking ball found the inside corner.
Happy 80th birthday today to Ed Brown of Paoli.
Gets jammed and fouls it out of play. 0-2. So long our best wishes for a speedy recovery to Rita Tomeno from Melody and Tammy, who are here cheering for the Phils. One ball and 2 strikes to Hollins. Jams him again, but he fouls it off. 1-2.
This fella Painter is coming in on Phillies hitters that they haven't seen much of here, especially the right-hand hitters with that short left field fence. He's been going in on the fists.
Down the right field side, foul ball. Still 1-2. These Colorado Rockies have kind of a revolving starting rotation. David Need, their #1 pick, now is out of the rotation, as is Butch Henry, and Bruce Ruffin's back in. Ruff will be pitching on Wednesday against Pittsburgh. That's set deep but foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Don Baylor, Jerry Royster, and Don Zimmer. On the inside corner, Hollins called out on strike. Second strikeout for Painter. 1 down here in the second.
Good fastball or slider, cut fastball right on the inside corner. This set of uniforms, Harry, has the names on the back here. They must have just sewed them on, huh?
I guess so. They weren't on the back in the first 2 games of this series. Darren Dalton takes a strike. Dutch hitting at .242, tied for the league lead in RBIs with 43.
Just been notified Sundays only they put the names on. I don't know they would do that.
Probably because they knew that Tom Ferrick would be watching down at the shore.
Black tops, that's different.
Ball and 2 strikes to Dalton. Dutch is 4th in the league in slugging percentage, 9th in the league in on-base percentage. Just missed inside. 2-2.
Sometimes it's better off when they don't know who you are, especially with an expansion team.
Full count to Dalton. Phillies have been getting a lot of walks. The Phillies lead the league in walks, 196 of them. Second in the league in runs scored and second in home runs. Fouls it back up over our heads and into the upper deck. There very high pop fly. Mile high at Mile High Stadium, and the shortstop, Liriano, stays with it. Makes the grab, 2 down. It'll bring on Pete Incaviglia. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Phillies and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the Phillies. Incaviglia hitting at .259, 8 home runs. He's knocked in 29. Fly ball to right field. Bichette drifting in a couple of steps. Puts it away, and the Phillies are down in the turn of the second. No runs, hits, errors, and none left. We go to the bottom of the second, 0-0.
Dave Hollins and the Phillies invade mid-America to battle Barry Larkin and the powerful Cincinnati Reds. The Reds have one of the most potent offenses in baseball, but Curt Schilling and the boys will have these Reds singing the blues. Don't miss this East-West showdown as the fighting Phils battle the Cincinnati Reds Monday and Tuesday at 7:30 only on PHL 17.
We play the Phillies on 17.
Phils Reds Monday at 7:30.
The new Lexus GS Luxury Performance Sedan. It not only corners better than the BMW 535i, but it rides smoother. Of course, if you still insist on feeling every pebble in the road, be our guest. See the GS at your New Jersey, Delaware, Pennsylvania area Lexus dealer. The price is within reach, too.
Bert sells balloons. Bob sells balloons. Bert sells wacky gifts. Bob sells wacky gifts. Bert delivers. Bob delivers. So if Bob's got everything Bert's got, why is Bert busy and Bob not? Now, do you suppose Bert's got a big color ad in the book 9 out of 10 people use? The genuine Bella Pennsylvania Yellow Pages. 9 out of 10 use it. No other book can match it. A Bell Atlantic Company.
Wednesday night just got a whole new attitude.
You get used to it after a while.
Time tracks and Kung Fu the legend continues. It's action with an attitude.
Wednesdays beginning at 8 on PHL 17.
Photo night will be Saturday when the Phillies are home against the Colorado Rockies at 7:05. Chance to get up close photos of your favorite Phils. Compliments of Kodak and the Camera Shop Incorporated. Picture taking will be from 5:45 to 6:15, so plan to come out early. Order tickets easily by phone. Just call 463-1000 or stop by a local Ticketmaster location. That'll be Saturday night photo night at Veterans Stadium against these Rockies. Andres Galarraga leads off. For the Rockies, he's hitting at .383, 8th in the league in RBIs with 35, despite missing 17 games. Walter Wade of Swarthmore, Pennsylvania, here today, cheering for the Phils. Well, look at the grind. Stop that ball. But Galarraga doesn't run well, so he's an easy out. And Ball took a direct left turn.
Slowed it to a trickle. He didn't hit it very hard. He hit it off the end of the bat, but it just was almost stopped by the time it reached the dirt. Just grabs at it.
Brings on Darrell Boston, hitting at .240. Darrell and Charlie Smith, Phillies season ticket holders from Wilmington, are here. One ball and no strikes. Rick and Susan Rosadillo sending up some tasty cakes today, sending along their best to family and friends in Bucks County. One ball and one strike to Darrell Boston. High with a hat fastball, 2-1. Three balls and a strike to Boston. And our best to Bill Bell and Ron Wierbach from Allentown. Third base Sunday season ticket holders are here for this weekend series. Full count. to Boston. Bouncing ball, second base. Duncan charges. Just got him. 2 down. And it'll bring on Charlie Hayes. Got the charge balls on this infield.
Got him by that long stride.
Charlie hitting at .272, celebrated his 28th birthday yesterday. 1 strike to him. Biggest Phillies fans in Colorado: Bob Bloss of Lansdale, Joe Mayone, and Eric Moyer of Reading. Enjoying the game today. Just over the head of Mariano Duncan, and Charlie Hayes has the first hit of the game, a single to right field.
Green made a good pitch on him. Charlie just kind of dumped it into right field. Inside out slice swing.
Brings on catcher Danny Schaefer. Schaefer, 31 years of age. He's been around playing mostly in the minor leagues. At .276 at Portland last year. Signed by the Rockies as a free agent. Played briefly in the majors with the Boston Red Sox and the Cleveland Indians. Made his debut in '87 at Milwaukee while playing for Boston. Got a single in his first at bat, and in his second at bat he hit a home run off Chris Bosio. It was downhill after that. He hit just 121 and 66 at bats that season. Was up briefly with Cleveland in '89, going just 1 for 16. He's hitting at .281. A little bit high. 2 balls and a strike. Phillies go from here to Cincinnati. Good pitching matchup tomorrow night. Kurt Schilling against Tim Belcher. Tuesday night, Danny Jackson and Jose Rijo, and on Wednesday it'll be Ben Rivera and John Smiley. There goes Charlie Hayes. He got a big jump. Duncan was covering, but still gets back to the ball and throws Schaefer out to retire the side. Duncan making all 3 assists in the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. After 2, 0-0.
What? Oh, guard dog. Oh, very scary. Finally, the good stuff.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Along with 50 other standard amenities, the Nissan Maxima GXE has a keyless entry system on the door. This system allows you to unlock doors, open the trunk, and even open windows automatically. But if you think the door is impressive, just imagine what's behind it. Now you can lease a Maxima for just $1,000 down and $269 a month for 24 months.
Upon completing the rear axle assembly diagram set using a 9-inch gripping wrench, tighten the diagram set and secure the frame extenders to the housing mount. Congratulations, you built a tricycle. While the simplest things can be made complex, the challenge is making the complex simple. And that's what we do at Bell Atlantic Mobile, with straight answers, clear explanations, and with no assembly required. Bell Atlantic Mobile, advanced technology and people who make it mean something.
Bring your camera and take up-close pictures of your favorite Phillies on Kodak Photo Night, Saturday, June 5th, before the Phillies play the all-new expansion team, the Colorado Rockies, at 7:05. Reserve your tickets in advance. Call 463-1000.
Wes Chamberlain leads it off for the Phillies here in the third. Wes hitting at .266. 6 homers. He's knocked in 18. Our trivia question of the afternoon, who's the only man to play in 3 consecutive World Series with 3 different teams? On the inside corner, Painter really is working the inside corner on right-hand hitters very nicely so far. In this ballpark, you don't expect the left-hander to pitch into right-hand hitters because the ball jumps to left so freely, but Painter is doing that and doing it effectively. 0-2.
Wes thinks that plate's awfully wide. He thought the first one was inside. He thought the second one was outside, but evidently too close to take.
Foul back and just below us. Still 0-2. Backdoor breaking ball, and he struck him out. Painter, who came into this game with just 3 strikeouts in 9 innings, has 3 strikeouts already.
Like a pretty good curveball. It was, if not there, close to being there.
Here's Kim Baptiste. He's hitting at .231. One ball and 1 strike to Baptiste. Steve Ripley, the plate umpire, has established a pitcher's strike zone, certainly a fairly large strike zone today. The hitters will know that as long as he's consistent with it. That's the important thing.
Wes wondering what hit him. He did get 1 swing, but that was at a bad pitch. He took the 3 strikes.
Almost hit Baptiste. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Little dribbler foul. Bruce Hurst, a tough outing at St. Louis. He was knocked out in the second. Cardinals lead San Diego 6-3 after 2. Pops a foul behind the Rockies dugout. Still 2-2.
Pretty soon the hitters are going to have to figure out, hey, this guy's going inside on us hard. None of the hitters are getting the barrel of the bat out there in time. They're all getting jammed a little bit.
Little dribbler, that's going to be trouble. Charlie Hayes throws, not in time. Infield single, Kim Baptiste. The grass so tall here, that ball almost came to a dead stop.
Good play by Charlie Hayes, but
did all he could do.
Baptiste well by the bag.
Brings on Tommy Green, who may or may not be bunting. Green not hitting all that well this year, just .091, but lifetime a .194 hitter with a couple of home runs. He is bunting. Beach Towel Day will be a week from today when the Phillies take on these Colorado Rockies at Veterans Stadium. Oversized, colorful beach towel featuring the Fanatic, free for all youngsters 14 and under, and compliments of Mellon PSFS. Next Sunday against Colorado, beach towels for all youngsters. For tickets, call 463-1000 or stop by the Center City ticket office at Mellon PSFS. Broad and Chestnut. Good bunt by Green. Wide throw, but Galarraga makes the tag.
much Green could do about that. The throw was wide and low, but Tommy was right in the base path, and that's where Galarraga caught the ball. All he had to do was just a little high hurdle there, but it didn't work.
Good thing he didn't turn his ankle landing on that bag at first base. Here's Lenny Dykstra. He flied out to left his first time up. Baptiste at second base with 2 outs. Ball and no strikes to Lenny Dykstra. Balls and a strike to Dykstra. And he's second in the league in runs scored. Scored 40 runs. Behind only Barry Bonds, who has scored 46. Changeup. Painter's not afraid to throw that changeup. 2 left-hand hitters.
Had Lenny out in front on this swing. In front and a little above the ball.
Two balls and 2 strikes to Dykstra. Into shallow left. Darrell Boston coming on. And that'll retire the side. No runs, 1 hit. No errors, and 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. 0-0.
Sigmund Freud, IQ 158, developed the principles of modern psychoanalysis. Sir Isaac Newton, IQ 163, formulated the law of gravity. Ken Sills, IQ 127, or so he says, just got a 2-year lease on a 93 Accord LX loaded with driver's side airbag, automatic transmission, and a lot of other cool stuff for a very smart price of only $239 a month. Ken Sills, modern day genius? The facts speak for themselves at your tri-state Honda dealer. The smart way to go.
I can't believe there's so much to do. I can't believe the fun goes on the whole year through. The time of your life is just a phone call away. 1-800-VISIT-PA. America. America starts here in Pennsylvania. Good times any time of year. America. America starts here.
Suppose you wanted to make a chair as stable as can be. Where would you put the legs? Right at the corners, right? Now, suppose you wanted to make a car as stable as can be. Where would you put the wheels? Right. That's why the new Intrepid is so remarkably stable. The wheels are pushed out toward the corners. The further we pushed, the more stable and sure-footed it became. Intrepid. This changes everything.
Today's Phillies game on PHL 17 is brought to you in part by Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light. By Nationwide Insurance. Nationwide is on your side. Your Nationwide insurance agent in North Wales is Gregory Ladner. And by Federal Express. For documents, packages, and freight worldwide, our most important package is yours. Nelson Liriano leads off. He's hitting at .280, switch hitter. 1 ball and no strikes. 0-0. Bottom of the 3rd. 2-0. Our trivia question of the afternoon: who's the only man to play in 3 consecutive World Series with 3 different teams? Green falls behind Liriano 3-0.
That was Don Baylor, wasn't it?
Is correct. Don Baylor with the 86 Red Sox, 87 Twins, and 88 A's.
Hit by pitches more times than anybody that ever played the game. Think of Minnie Minoso and Ron Hunt as 2 players who were hit a lot, and they were hit a lot, but Baylor was like hit 40, 50 more times than Minoso.
Yeah, he was hit a lot more than Minoso. I believe he was hit 267 times. Minoso was hit 189 times.
A lot of times to get plunked.
In the air to right center field, but Dykstra has a beat on it. It carries on him, but he makes the grab. 1 down.
That's what he was talking about a couple days ago, that it's so easy to misjudge how far the ball is going to carry. See, he starts in, and now he has to go back. But he had plenty of time.
Brings on the pitcher, Lance Painter. He is 1 for 3 this year as a hitter.
That's a good cut by a pitcher.
Bouncing foul. Those San Francisco Giants have taken a 4-3 lead on Atlanta after 7. Don Glavine trying to win his 8th game, but he's behind 4-3 at this stage.
Giants have a 4-game lead over the Braves, or over Atlanta, and then you have Houston 5.5 back.
Phillies lead is 6 over Montreal and 9 over both the Cubs and St. Louis. Montreal and Cubs are just underway after a rain delay at Chicago. Struck him out. 2nd strikeout for Tommy Green. 2 down here in the 3rd. He'll bring up Eric Young. He grounded out his first time up.
Excellent pitching here by both these pitchers in a tough ballpark.
One strike to Eric Young. Past Tommy Green. Into center field for a base hit. Now Green will have to watch Young. He's 5th in the league in stolen bases. 18 of them.
Green kind of hung a ball there, and see that ball. It's almost at a stop by the time it reached Dykstra.
Second hit given up by Tommy Green will bring on Alex Cole. Cole struck out his first time up. One ball and no strikes to Cole. Nothing game, bottom of the 3rd. Bobby Bonilla's hit a couple of home runs at Shea, numbers 11 and 12 for him, but the Mets are trailing Cincinnati nonetheless, 7-4 in the 7th. Vince Coleman leads the league in steals with 23. Eric Young has 18. One ball and one strike to Cole. Cole looking down at Jerry Royster to see a straight steal might be on.
Should be. Green is getting the ball to Dalton in pretty good time.
There he goes. Pitch out. Tag out. That'll retire the side. So the Phils call the pitch out right. Darren Dalton throwing out Eric Young to retire the side. No runs, one hit, no errors, and none left. Chris Wheeler and Andy Musser join you in the fourth. At the end of 3, it's a 0-0 game.
This is your world, genuine and true. You're the one who keeps coming through, 'cause you're giving it your best. Proud to be your bud. Budweiser. Proud to be your bud. Proud to be your bud. Ooh, yeah. Proud to be your. Proud to be your bud.
What's he doing? Better humor him.
Okay, I'm here to show you the new Panasonic Palm Quarter camcorder with digital image stabilizer.
I think I'm gonna be sick.
It helps hold the picture steady even when your hand shakes this much. And Palm Quarter tapes can play in any VHS recorder. So why buy a camcorder whose tapes can't play in your VCR?
I don't know.
The choice is obvious. The Panasonic Palm Quarter. Its tapes will play in your VCR.
There's no better time to buy a new Plymouth Sundance than right now. Get all of Sundance's standard features, like a 2.2-liter engine, standard driver's airbag, and AM/FM stereo. Best of all, Sundance's low price, around $7.9. But you better hurry, because Sundance savings won't last long. Only at your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer, where real advantages make a real difference.
Saturday, June 19th, the Phillies and the Marlins at 7:35. It's the 10th reunion of the 1983 National League champion Phillies. They'll come back to play a team of Major League All-Stars from the same year. You'll be able to see Mike Schmidt, Tug McGraw, Gary Matthews, and Gary Maddox. And all that will be courtesy of Upper Deck. The game starts at 6 o'clock. So make your plans now. Order your tickets by calling 463-1000. In the fourth inning of our game, still 0-0. Mariano Duncan today has grounded to third base in his only at-bat. Fly ball, well hit, right center. Cole is there and catches it. Well, Death Valley sort of in right center wheels, and we just saw it right there.
Yeah, there's a lot of room in this ballpark out towards center, right center, and even down the line in right field. And that ball carried quite a bit because of the light air. There you see the center field, right center field area. Then when you start going over toward left and left center, that's when the hitters really like it. You find a lot of hitters pulling off here, especially the right-handed hitters, and trying to lift everything.
Here's Kruk. He struck out the first time around. They're going to have a new ballpark here in 2 years, and when they do, it's going to conform to a more standardized figuration. It will not be as deep in right and right center, and it will be a little deeper than this one in left. Kruk has RBIs in 4 straight ball games, and he's 4 for 10 in this series through his first at bat today.
Rockies are desperate for some kind of pitching. Painter's doing a good job, but Ripley's really helping them a lot today. He's helping both pitchers with a very, very big plate. I mean, that ball was outside there, but he's been consistent throughout the game of having an expanded strike zone for both pitchers.
Painter works him in this time, but misses. It's 2-2 on Kruk. They just demoted one of their starters, announced after the ball game yesterday that, well, two of them really, Butch Henry and David Need, are both being dropped from the rotation temporarily.
And Bruce Ruffin is going to come back in the rotation because he pitched some good innings against the Phillies the other night. And Bryn Smith also. They're in a situation where somebody gets somebody out, they start them.
Right to the mound. Painter grabs it. Takes plenty of time to get it over to the cat. And Kruk is out. Bases empty, 2 away, and Dave Hollins comes up. Dave looked at a called third strike. First at bat for him today.
Kruk and Ripley are going at it right now. See, Kruk went by Ripley and said something to him, and then Ripley started following him towards the dugout, and then Kruk didn't say anything else. But you could see that developing in that at bat because Ripley called the pitch was outside. I mean, it was well outside, and Kruk didn't like it.
Another stop by Painter. That one was sharply hit. And a 1-2-3 inning. Down go the Phillies. We go to the bottom of the 4th,
scoreless. In the darkest hour, their actions can mean the difference between life and death, even your own.
We've got a helicopter coming in for the injured parties.
Ride along with these real-life heroes.
The suspect is traveling approximately 110 to 120 miles per hour.
The men and women of our nation's highway patrol in an explosive new series that puts you behind the wheel 5 nights a week. Real stories of the Highway Patrol.
Weeknights at 7:30 on PHL 17.
I heard you guys got a great deal on the '93 Ford Escort.
Not a deal, a whole new way of buying. 4 Escorts, one price, $10,499.
Not so fast. I want power steering, rear defrost, and a good stereo.
Still one price.
All right, I want air conditioning. And what if I want a hatchback or a sedan?
$10,499.
Now you can get any of 4 new '93 Escorts, all well equipped for $10,499. No gimmicks, no hidden costs. See your Quality Plus Ford dealer today.
How about a wagon?
$10,499.
Just checking.
To us, a single 800 call could be worth thousands of dollars. If a customer dials our 800 number and can't get through, it's like telling them to take their business somewhere else. We chose AT&T because our 800 service is our front door. If it shuts down, we shut down. When you have competition like I do, you better be there for your customers.
One of the 800 reasons to choose AT&T 800 service, the best in the business.
Bills are back Friday night for a 6-game homestand. It begins with these Rockies Friday at 7:35. Saturday will be photo night, and next Sunday afternoon, beach towel day at Veterans Stadium. And then the Astros are in for 3 night games, June 7, 8, and 9, all 3 of them at 7:35. You can get your tickets by calling 463-1000, or you can get them at Mellon PSFS Broad and Chestnut Street in Philadelphia. It's the last of the 4th, and the air must be heavier today or something. We're not seeing that much offense today, Wheels. The pitchers have taken over, as you say, with the help of the home plate umpire.
Yep.
Alex Cole leads it off.
Well, I think Terry Mulholland showed everybody yesterday it can be done here when he pitched that masterpiece and just kept the ball down so well.
Cole hits it towards second. Duncan's been a busy man today. Mariano throws to first. John got a little mixed up out there, but the play is made, and that's the first out.
This field, the grass slows the ball up, but then when it hits the dirt, it's rocket ball. You can see that one really took off on Duncan. And Kruk, what happened was Kruk was looking for the bag and then wound up stepping in the middle of it, was something a first baseman never wants to do because the runner then has a chance to nail his foot coming by, but Cole hadn't gotten there.
Here's Dante Bichette 0 for 1. That was a ground ball to Hollins. Strike. This is a dangerous ballpark to issue walks, and today neither pitcher has.
You almost have to pitch in this ballpark the way you do at Wrigley Field with the wind blowing out. That kind of a mentality.
Bichette chases one. Nothing in 2.
Tommy Green told us yesterday that he was going to pitch today just the way he normally does. He'll pitch in and out, use all his pitches, and you can't be thinking about staying away from any particular part of the strike zone, because if you do, then you start to get in trouble.
Tommy pitched a game here as a member of the Richmond Braves when he was in their farm system. Here's a play for Batiste. Kim gets it over to first for the out. He won that game 5-3 here, and the 3 runs were all solo home runs. Let's pause here for station identification, the Phillies Television Network.
You're watching Phillies baseball on WPHL TV, Philadelphia.
Mile High Stadium, and it is a mile high, no doubt about it.
And then you go west here and head up in those mountains, and it keeps going up.
Many miles. Galarraga, the batter. The big cat today, 0 for 1, ground ball to Duncan. Had a lot of ground balls yesterday, a lot more today. Here's a fly ball. Chamberlain started in. That's his instinct, but he gets back to catch it, and down go the Rockies at the end of 4, 0-0.
Along with 50 other standard amenities, the Nissan Maxima GXE has a keyless entry system on a door. This system allows you to unlock doors, open the trunk, and even open windows automatically. But if you think the door is impressive, just imagine what's behind it. Now you can lease a Maxima for just $1,000 down and $269 a month for 24 months.
I work Saturdays and Sundays. It's not a job. It's a dedication. I don't think you can teach someone to tune. You just got to practice until it's natural, just like breathing. There seems something mystic about it. So much beauty comes out of music.
Mellon PSFS, you're why we do our very best.
Inning at Mile High Stadium. Andy Musser with Chris Wheeler, and we have a scoreless ball game. Darren Dalton leads it off for the Phils. Dalton's only at bat resulted in a pop-up to Liriano. Painter has been getting the first pitch over to most hitters. He missed on this one, but he's been ahead of most of them. Again,
and the Phillies have been taking a lot of first pitches because they haven't seen this guy, so it's almost up there looking for certain things to see what happens. Now maybe as the lineup turns over a time or two, you'll see them get more aggressive early in the count. Phillies are an aggressive hitting team.
First time he's been behind 3-0.
Even though they walk a lot, I don't think you could call them a passive offensive ball club. They're kind of, they take what they give you.
The 3-0 pitch to Dalton. In for a strike. Dalton starting his 29th straight game this afternoon. He's got a rest coming up, though. Huh?
Smiley, when Smiley pitches Wednesday at Cincinnati, Dalton will not play, and that way he'll be off Wednesday and then the off day Thursday.
Dalton gets into that, gives it a good ride to deep right center. He's got it out of here. Phillies lead 1-0 on Darren Dalton's 13th home run.
Well, he got all over that one. And with this thin air heading out even in that area where we described how deep it is out there, it just kept going and going and finally left the ballpark. See, Dalton doesn't want to rest in this ballpark, and he doesn't really want to rest in Cincinnati because that's another hitter's park. See, Painter got behind him, and now he has to come in 3-1. Dalton's seen him once, seen his fastball, sat on it, and hit it out to right center.
Gives Darren another RBI, his 44th. He's in a battle for the league lead with Matt Williams. We don't know how Williams is doing today, but we do know that Barry Bonds homered for the Giants to give them a 4-3 lead over the Braves, and they have gone to the 8th inning in that ball game. Bonds hitting that home run off Tommy Glavine.
You know what? Thompson had homered in that game too, so at that point they hadn't had any RBIs out of Matt Williams.
There you go. Incaviglia flied to right field in his only at bat. So the Phillies have scored first in all 3 games of this series. In the previous 2, the Phillies were on the board in the first inning. It took until the 5th today. Base hit up the middle and solidly struck by Incaviglia.
They're starting to hit him a little harder the second time around now, as we kind of thought might happen. Nothing against Lance Painter. He looks like he's, you know, he's okay. He has decent stuff, but he doesn't look like a guy that should dominate this lineup for long. He made a couple good fielding plays himself out there.
No outs this inning, as the first two have reached. First time they've had back-to-back hits. That's something that Terry Mulholland did not do yesterday. Never gave up back-to-back hits in that game. You keep going back to that ball game yesterday and examining the way it progressed. It was truly an amazing game. He's supposed to have a good move to first. We've heard that about Painter.
Well, he just used a leg kick type of move there that can really freeze a base runner. Incaviglia was just kind of stood there and looked at it for a second before he went back.
The hitter is Chamberlain, and a breaking ball misses to Wes. They're in the 9th inning now in Atlanta, and it's still 4-3 Giants over the Braves. The Dodgers are on the board, but their 11-game winning streak in jeopardy. They trail Pittsburgh 4-1 in the 8th. Reds lead the Mets 7-4, top of the 9th. 2 home runs in that game by Bobby Bonilla, numbers 11 and 12.
And Joe Oliver hit a 3-run home run there in the 7th inning to put the Reds ahead in that game.
Chamberlain, there's another stop by Painter. It cost him a double play. The fact that he bobbled it, though, he could have gotten 2 on that. Incaviglia to second. Chamberlain's out.
He's pretty good on those balls hit back to the mound. They're not comebackers necessarily. That ball was hit pretty hard, too, and the very hard dirt in front of home plate. As Andy said, if he fields that cleanly, he has a dead double play ball. It was a good play on his part not to try to go to second and do too much there, because it would have been close.
In steps Batiste. Kim got an infield single first time up. He buried one in the grass along the third base side, and even the great fielding Charlie Hayes could not make a play on that one.
Buried, it's a good term for this grass.
Really. Batiste had a good series. He's 4 for 10 in the series. He started at shortstop in all 3.
Lenny Dykstra said that grass in this place looks like the rough at the U.S. Open. Good line, and true. When you walk down there on the field before the game, it's hard to believe how high that grass really is, and they're obviously doing it on purpose. There's Dykstra.
And you know, it's not only high, but it's a thicker grass than they have at Wrigley Field. It's very, very thick. I would imagine that this field could take a pretty heavy downpour and be able to play baseball on it afterward. Curveball for a strike.
I think they're getting to the point where the normal lawnmower won't do it anymore. They're going to have to bring in a tractor. After watching how high it is this weekend.
Well, I hope they don't bring in the Wrigley Field lawnmower, because it doesn't work.
No, they keep their grass pretty high there also.
They have a sweeper in there instead of blades, I believe. Look out. Inside.
They've been pitching Batiste in a lot. He's been doing a lot of jumping around in the batter's box this weekend. Kim's done a good job at shortstop. Made 1 error in the game early on Friday night.
Throwing error. Been picking the ball all right. Just missed. 2-2. Painter's got a changeup, a straight change, and then the fastball and curveball. Certainly not overpowering, but as we've noticed today, he's got good command of all of his pitches. Ground ball hit to Hayes. Charlie's got it, and he's got Incaviglia hung up. Tagged out. Inky is out. Batiste safe at first on a fielder's choice.
Yeah, he made a base running mistake there. Incaviglia, I don't know what he's thinking. You know, when you're at second base, you have to read the ball through the infield on that play. And it's certainly not through the infield. And Hayes reacts immediately, runs him down. And then they make the tag in the infield. So he just made a base running mistake.
2 outs and Tommy Green bats. And Tommy has a chance here to swing the bat. He sacrificed the first time up. He trying to launch one to left wheels. You can't blame him for that.
Yeah, Tommy Green hasn't swung the bat real well this year, but you know, he sees a left-hander out there and he hopes he might get a fastball and fire his hip out and put one in the air, and he can certainly hit one out of this ballpark.
Tommy's 2 career home runs are both off left-handers. And he launches one to left field. It is gone.
There it was.
Tommy hits it right over the screen, and Pointer says, what?
He says, where was that? Up, down?
3-0 Phillies on Green's home run, his 3rd career Major League home run. The others off Avery and Barnes.
Just talked about him firing his hip out, and that's just what he did. And we'll see in a little bit where that pitch was. But he opened up looking for something to pull. And it's just, you know, it's fun out there for a right-handed batter. If you can get one in the air on with something on it, it's going to jump and leave this ballpark. Tommy Green is very, very strong. You know, that's just what he did as his teammates are having some fun congratulating him.
Tommy's 1st of the year, but as we say, his 3rd career home run.
Last time he was up for Gosi bunted playing for 1 run. Here he hits a 2-run homer.
Lenny Dykstra is at the plate and gets worked inside. It's 1-1 on Lenny. Both times up today, Dykstra has flied to left.
Now that he's done that, I guess Jim will let him swing away a little more. Fregosi hasn't seen Tommy Green hit like that too often.
Lenny launches one toward right field. That drops for a hit. Dykstra singles.
Phillies are really something after they've seen a pitcher. You know, you see this game after game with them when they see a new pitcher. It takes them a while, and then look out. Here's Green. Now watch the hip go out. It's a breaking ball, too. He just fired that hip out. Watch, like a golf swing almost. Opens up, wham. Home run left field.
Don Baylor making his way to the mound now, and Tommy Green enjoys a little sip of cool water after that one. By the way, the hit by Lenny Dykstra now gives Lenny an 8-game hitting streak as Painter gets a little visit from his skipper.
Well, that probably shook him up a little bit. You know, in the inning, he looked like he had a chance to get out of it after Incaviglia made the base running mistake. And then all of a sudden the pitcher hits a home run off him. That's what happens with these young teams like the Colorado Rockies are. Painter has done a pretty good job so far.
With Lenny at first, now Mariano Duncan will be the batter. Today, Duncan has grounded to third and flied to center. Lenny has to slide back. Lenny has stolen 12 bases in 16 tries.
Here's Tommy Green on a warm afternoon here in Denver, but a very pleasant day. Probably around the mid-70s.
73 at game time, and it sure hasn't gone down. Oh, Duncan puts a charge in one. Forget that, baby. Another 2-run home run, 5-0 Phillies. 3 homers in 1 inning for the Phils.
Boy, oh boy. Phillies are really something when they get it going, too. See Don Zimmer and Larry Bernard looking on, and Painter was just kind of roaring through the Phillies. Now all of a sudden, they've seen him. The hitters have seen him a couple times, and it's a different ball game.
Number 4 for Duncan.
No doubt about that one when he got that one up in the light air, because Duncan also just opened up his stance there and looked for something that he could pull and did.
So the Phillies are celebrating in their dugout as they've jumped to a 5-run inning here in the 5th. Kruk was bailing on that pitch. I guess John expected to be dusted. Kruk has struck out and grounded back to Painter. No balls and 2 strikes.
It's happened kind of suddenly, huh? There's Duncan with Kurt Schilling, who's going to pitch tomorrow night against against Tim Belcher in Cincinnati.
Phillies go to Cincy for 3. All 3 night games starting at 7:30 tomorrow. Count should be 2 balls and 1 strike on Kruk. The scoreboard has it wrong, and Steve Ripley motions. There's ball 3. 3-1. Fouled, and it's a full count on John. He's the 8th batter to come to the plate for the Phillies here in a wild 5-run 5th, featuring 3 homers.
Sandy Ashby, the former Philly, starting to loosen up. He was in the game on Friday night and got roughed up.
Ashby earned a save in 1 game last week down in Houston. Kruk strikes out. So Painter had a bad inning, but he does finish it off with a strikeout. But the Phillies get 5 runs in the inning on 5 hits. Nobody left on base, and lead 5-0.
This is the Infinity J30. Oh, and this is the clock in the J.
There's an interesting reason it looks like it does. Infinity realized the clock is the one instrument in the car everyone uses. So they felt it should stand out.
Now, if they put that much thought into the clock, imagine the other thoughtful extremes they went to. Visit your Infinity showroom. Oh, tell them you already know the part about the clock.
All-Pro quarterback Dan Marino.
When the game is over and the pain starts, I want two things from my pain-relieving rub: fast relief and no odor. So I use Sports Cream, a strong pain-relieving rub that doesn't make me smell like a medicine chest. I just massage in Sports Cream for fast, odor-free relief. Cream or lotion, Sports Cream sure gets my vote for fast relief and no odor.
It's pretty safe to say that nobody's going to award us the Nobel Prize for designing a filtering system for Sunoco gasoline. But what this filter does is keep the tiny particles that can find their way into gasoline from finding their way into your engine. We've been told we're a tad on the obsessive side. Tell that to the guy on the side of the road with a clogged fuel line.
Today's Phillies game on PHL 17 is brought to you in part by Budweiser, the king of beers, who reminds you friends know when to say when. And by Bell Atlantic Mobile, advanced technology and people who make it mean something. Explosion by the Phillies in this scoreless ball game is now led by the Phils 5-0 after a big, powerful inning. And we go to the bottom of the fifth with Darryl Boston to lead it off for the Rockies. Tommy Green has a nice margin, and he certainly helped himself. That home run by Tommy was the first by a Phillies pitcher since his last one, which came on August 9th of '91. One ball, one strike.
You know, if Painter had handled that ball by Chamberlain, he would have been out of that inning with, well, you'd think, you know, as you said, it probably would have been a double play, and it looked like it would have been.
Sure,
he could have been out of that inning with one run scored, just the Dalton home run, and gave the Phillies the extra out, and they wound up cashing in with 4 more.
The little things, huh? Breaking ball for a strike. And it's 1-2 on Boston. Charlie Hayes on deck.
More times you can go through a ball game and not give teams extra outs, the better the chances you have. And the Phillies a little shaky defensively for a while. They played well yesterday. So far good today.
And Friday night, even though their defense wasn't the best, their offense was just overpowering. It didn't make much difference. 2-2. Looks like the Rockies are getting ready to lift Painter. They've got bullpen action and getting ready for some more. Boston's out on strikes. Tommy Green gets his 3rd strikeout, first out of the 5th.
Tommy Green's doing just what Mulholland did yesterday. He's not letting the ballpark bother him. He's moving the ball in and out. He stayed away from Boston almost the whole at bat, and then look what he does. He throws that fastball that runs. He's really got a good one now. That kind of pitch you see Greg Maddux use so effectively. Morgan, that they started at the left-handed batter and runs back for a strike.
Charlie Hayes, he works him inside. Charlie's one of the 2 Rockies to get a hit today.
That's a great weapon for a right-handed pitcher because it freezes left-handed hitters.
Charlie fouls this one. 1 ball, 1 strike. The only other Rocky to get a hit was Eric Young. Both of the Rockies' hits have come with 2 outs.
Rockies have that black and purple featured throughout their uniforms, and a really great color scheme, as do the Florida Marlins with the teal.
The uniforms that they're wearing today are very similar to the practice jerseys that they wear on a daily basis, except that their practice jerseys do not have their names on. If you've been watching here the last couple of days, their regular white uniforms don't have their names. Kind of strange. Most teams do now.
Yeah, especially when you're doing games with an expansion team, you like them to have the names on the back because it helps you when one of them pops out of the dugout and you're not sure who they are.
That's right. But they're probably saving a lot in tailoring expenses, not putting them on there. Somebody said in the paper here the other day they ought to put them on with Velcro.
Yeah, they do. They are interchangeable. A lot of players moving in and out here.
Bouncing ball hit to Batiste. He got a funny hop, but he knows what to do with it. Charlie Hayes is out. That's 2 down.
That's the grass and the dirt difference here. The grass so slow, the infield as fast as any field in the league. So once it hits that dirt, the ball has a tendency to really skid, and that's why Batiste had trouble with this. Watch Charlie Hayes. off the end of the bat now, hits that grass or hits that dirt and really scoots. And Batiste handled it well and threw him out.
Bases empty, 2 out for the catcher, Danny Schaefer. He chases one up high and fouls it back. Schaefer is 0 for 1. That was a ground ball to Duncan. Schaefer, the backup catcher, getting a chance to play today. Girardi being rested. Schaefer hit a home run on May 20th at San Diego. Here's a guy who had hit a home run in the big leagues in his second major league at bat. But that was back in April of 1987, 120 at bats ago. Most of his time has been spent in the minor leagues in the meantime.
Tommy Green's throwing all his pitches for strikes right now. Great confidence with a 5-0 lead, using his fastball, both his slider and his curveball very effectively. He's in a terrific groove.
Lifted beyond the infield. They're playing deep, but Chamberlain comes on. So does Lenny. And who caught it? One of them did. Lenny did. Schaefer is out. And down go the Rockies. After 5, it's 5-0 Phillies.
You can feel it deep inside. You're the one with a real sense of pride. And you're giving it your best. Proud to be your bud. Budweiser. Proud to be your bud. Proud to be your bud. Ooh, yeah. Proud to be your. Proud to be your bud.
For the first time ever, the expansion Florida Marlins come to the Fed Thursday, June 17th and Friday, June 18th. Then the Upper Deck Heroes play Saturday, June 19th before the Marlins game. And it's a free vintage 1933 baseball cap for all men, Sunday, June 20th at 1:35. Order your tickets in advance. Call 463-1000.
Only one dealer can offer you 5 of the 10 best sellers in America. Your Quality Plus Ford dealer. Now, Ford Taurus is the #1 selling car in America. A leader in safety with available dual airbags and anti-lock brakes. Ford Taurus has been on Car and Driver's top 10 list 7 years straight. Now, for a limited time, save $1,200, including $500 cash back from Ford on all Taurus sedans and wagons. Hurry, save on 5 of the top 10 sellers in America. Only at your Quality Plus Ford.
After 5 innings, we'll check the pitcher's numbers in this ball game. The key thing is that neither pitcher has walked anybody, and Green's doing an outstanding job. Tommy giving up just 2 hits so far with 3 strikeouts. Painter has 4 strikeouts, but he has yielded 3 home run balls and trails 5-0. In the 5th inning, the Phillies sent 8 men to the plate, so they start with the one guy who didn't bat in the inning, Dave Hollins. Hollins is 0 for 2. He has struck out and hit one back to the mound. This will be Painter's last inning of work. He's due to be the second batter in the bottom half of the 6th. Hollins in the series, 4 hits and 11 at-bats. Fly ball center field, well hit, but Cole may have room in that part of the yard, and he does. Wow. They just slide through that air here, don't they?
It's like a 3-wood. I mean, you see the outfielders coming in for a lot of them, and then they just keep going.
Boy, that's a big, big yard when it says 423 out there. And then there's a batting eye on top of that, which he hit here on Friday night. Watch it, Wheels.
We saw him come in first, and now all of a sudden he has to go back and almost go right back to that center field wall 423 feet away.
Darren Dalton broke up the scoreless tie with a leadoff home run last inning. Painter stays away. Ball 1. Dutch popped up first time around. Dalton today starting his 29th consecutive game, but Todd Pratt is back. His ankle is feeling better, and he will get the start on Wednesday at Cincinnati. Painter in his last inning of work.
Jeff Parrott. Saw him the other night. He got roughed up.
Oh, he did by the left-handed batters. He got the right-handers out, and then the left-handers ate him alive.
Which has been kind of the story of his career in the last few years. Now the Rockies are only 8-18 here at Mile High Stadium. You see why. 7.8 runs per game they're averaging here in this ballpark. You know, I mean, that says right there you got to score 8 to win.
You're not going to do that every day.
Rarely. You know, they have a decent offensive team, but you know, you're not going to score that many runs very often.
Foul ball. You know, their staff earned run average for the year, home and road, is 5.95. So when the Phillies beat them yesterday 6-0, that's just about on target, huh?
Yep. There's their bullpen.
They have 12 pitchers on their staff because they need them. Dalton winds up drawing a walk. He's the league leader in that. It's the first time he's walked in this series. His 43rd. And needless to say, that's the first walk in the game this afternoon for either side. Incaviglia coming up. Pete 1 for 2, then got caught in a rundown on the bases. Dalton leads the league in base on balls, 43 of them. He has 3 more than Barry Bonds.
And he leads the league in RBIs, too. What a combination.
Hard ground ball, base hit for Incaviglia. Dalton will stop at second. And the Phillies have 2 on with 1 out here in the 6th.
Incaviglia got that one in the hole to left. The grass slowed it up, and then the outfield grass slowed it up. And you can sometimes even first to third on balls hit to left field, as we look at Don Baylor and Don Zimmer talking it over.
The official 1993 Phillies gift and souvenir catalog, courtesy of Kellogg's, is now available. The catalog features all your favorite Phillies items, including jackets, jerseys, T-shirts, caps. Get this catalog free by calling the Phillies at 463-1000 and ask for a Phillies souvenir and gift catalog.
Baylor's going to come out and maybe do a double switch here because the pitcher's due to bat second. And it looks like he's headed right for Steve Ripley, so it'll be a double switch. They're not going to let Painter pitch to Wes Chamberlain. They're going to bring in the right-hander Parrott, and we'll see what else they'll do.
So for Painter, it's 5 1/3 innings today. And he's given up 5 runs already, and he's responsible for the 2 on base. We'll see who Baylor's going to lift here.
Could be Schaefer, the catcher, because he made the last out, and they could bring Girardi in the ball game.
Looks like that's what it's going to be, and as much as Schaefer has disappeared, there goes Painter. And we've got a pitching change. It's 5-0 Phillies. We'll be right back.
I heard you guys got a great deal on the '93 Ford Escort.
Not a deal, a whole new way of buying. 4 Escorts, 1 price, $10,499.
Not so fast. I want power steering, rear defrost, and a good stereo.
Still 1 price.
All right, I want air conditioning. And what if I want a hatchback or a sedan?
$10,499.
Now you can get any of 4 new 93 Escorts, all well equipped, for $10,499. No gimmicks, no hidden costs. See your Quality Plus Ford dealer today.
How about a wagon?
$10,499.
Just checking.
Make a note to make history when the Colorado Rockies come to town for the first time. Friday, June 4th, Saturday, June 5th, and get a big beach towel free 1:35 Sunday afternoon, June 6th. Then it's the Astros, June 7th, 8th, and 9th. Order your tickets in advance. Call 463-1000.
31-year-old Jeff Parrott, a former Phillies right-hander, comes in the ball game. Parrott making his 25th appearance today. They've all been in relief. Jeff is 0-1. His earned run average 5.20. He has earned 1 save.
Parrott fastball, breaking ball, split finger fastball is his changeup. And a guy who at one time really threw hard and had a real hard curveball. When the Phillies got him, he did a little bit of that, but then really started to struggle. They finally moved him to Atlanta. He's been at Oakland since, and now over here. At one time, though, Jeff Parrott was one of the hardest throwing relief pitchers you could bring into a ball game.
And there's Joe Girardi. He's the new catcher as they change batteries here, and they flip in the batting order so that Girardi can bat in the bottom of the 6th. Phillies ahead 5-0. Chamberlain finds 2 on with 1 out. West today has struck out and hit 1 to the mound. Barrett misses with his first pitch. Ball 1. Batiste on deck. Wes has RBIs in 5 straight ball games. 4 runs batted in the series. And a runner in scoring position here. Foul tipped it. 1 ball, 1 strike on Wes.
Chamberlain's been tearing up left-handed pitching at a 347 clip coming into this game. Right-handers not as successful at 213. So the Phillies are playing him against a lot of left-handers, and he's really helped out, as has Incaviglia.
I'm sure Don Baylor looked at those same numbers too, and that's why he got Painter out of there and brought Parrott in this spot.
Well, Chamberlain dives into the ball so much. You can see him, his approach to hitting, and right-handed pitchers try to jam him as much as possible. There's Baylor looking on. He's in one of those hang-in-there situations.
Oh, you bet. Chamberlain gets into it, gives it a ride into the left center field area, and Cole is there. Tagging at second base is Dalton. He will go to third. The relay in is dropped. It gets away. Here comes Dalton. He's going to score, and the Phillies lead 6-0 as they messed up the relay.
Yeah, it's hard to believe you get a run out of that. 2 long outs in this inning, and then good base running by Darren Dalton. Good coaching by Larry Boa. Watch what happens here as the ball gets away in the infield. Cole gets it back in. Well, let's see here. You'll see Cole catch it first, and then you'll see the error. Right there, it just bounces away from the cutoff man. And Dalton alertly coming into third hard. Boa seeing it get away, scores him on the plate. It'll probably be Cole's error. No, they gave it to the shortstop.
Yeah, they did. They gave it to Liriano. And the Phillies pick up run number 6. It'll be an unearned run.
Why would you give that to the shortstop when the ball bounces like that and takes a crazy hop on that cow pasture out there?
Because the grass is soft, you're supposed to catch him.
Well, they ought to put the scorer out there with a glove and try and catch those.
Kim Batiste today has an infield hit and then a fielder's choice. They're going to go ahead and walk him here with Tommy Green coming up, but Tommy will not be facing a left-hander in this case, so there's a slight difference here.
There's no such thing as a true hop in that outfield on throws or balls hit in that outfield.
Let's watch that play once more, see what you think, see who you think should receive the error.
I mean, if you say you should block it or something, but see, watch the ball the way it hops. It's a short hop, and you know it's a cow pasture out there. It's terrible.
Yeah,
it bounces away. It shouldn't be his error, but whatever.
That might be changed, Wheels. It's quite possible that that one would be revised after they look at it a couple of times. Now here's Tommy Green, sacrificed and hit a 2-run home run. Takes a strike. Phillies up 6-0 in the 6th.
Key to that play, of course, too, is aggressive base running by Dalton and going hard when he tagged from second to third, so when the ball bounced away, he could keep on going. He hadn't slowed up going into third.
Tommy on a chopper. It stays fair. Going to be a tough play. Parrott throws it in the dirt. Everybody is safe and the bases are loaded. It's a base hit for Tommy Green to continue a perfect, and I do mean perfect, day for Tommy.
Well, here we go again with the ball dying in the grass. Parrott hustles over and then throws it low and wide. Galarraga trying to dig it out, and they give Green a base hit on the play, which I think is correct.
Yeah, I don't know how else you could score that.
You can't give Parrott a throwing error, and Galarraga made a heck of a play just stopping it.
That's hit number 8 in the game for the Phillies, and it brings Lenny Dykstra up with the bases loaded. They are full of fills with 2 outs in the inning, a run already in, and 6-0 Phillies. Lenny today 1 for 3. Girardi blocks it, ball 1.
Lenny's still dragging around that one big negative, Andy, and that's at 0-59 with runners in scoring position at game time. He would love to start to turn that around a little bit, because he's turned most other things around so far in his offense.
Yeah, that's true. And ironically, that's the one thing that coming into the year, Lenny had done so well in the past. He was a good RBI man out of the leadoff spot. That's high ball, too.
Exactly. I mean, managers bunt runners over knowing Dykstra's at the top of their lineup because he is a good RBI man and has been throughout his career.
Well, he's made some progress in recent games. The average that you just recited comes from him being so poor in that category at the outset of the year. Lenny gives it a ride here. And Bichette can't get it. It might clear him. One's in, two's in. Tommy Green's heading for the plate. Here comes the throw. He scores, and it's a 3-run double for Lenny. And the Phillies lead 9-0.
Well, that'll help that 059. That's what we're just talking about, seeing if he could get it going. Bichette played that ball awful because he started to come. He came almost sideways and in a little bit, and then the ball just took off over his head with this light air. And there goes Zimmer and Baylor looking on like, gee, we were in this one for a while. Fastball right down the middle. Lenny hits it right on the nose. He ran it down and out, too. He came in and then had to go back. So these outfielders, it's a tough place to play the outfield here, I guess. Even when you play your home games here, you get fooled by the way the balls take off.
Yeah, your instincts, which have been built up for years and years and years, just don't allow you to give in on those balls. Well, now Mariano Duncan with Dykstra at second. A 4-run inning for the Phillies on the heels of a 5-run fifth. Curveball for a strike. Mariano hit a 2-run home run last time.
Phillies have let a couple 3-game sweeps get away lately. One in Florida, one at home against the Mets the other night, and they look like they're not going to let it happen today. They're going to try not to. Pretty hard anyway.
It's going to take a big comeback by the Rockies. There's one hit right to Liriano. He bobbles, makes the play over at first base. Lenny stayed at second. Duncan is out, and that'll be the completion of the inning as the Rockies give up 4 runs in the inning. There were 3 hits by the Phillies, 1 costly error, and 1 man left on base. Phillies lead 9-0.
Along with 50 other standard amenities, the Nissan Maxima GXE has a keyless entry system on the door. This system allows you to unlock doors, open the trunk, and even open windows automatically. But if you think the door is impressive, just imagine what's behind it. Now you can lease a Maxima for just $1,000 down and $269 a month for 24 months.
Look, a rainbow!
Where?
Over there!
Oh, there!
Don't you see it? I can, through my Panasonic Palm Quarter color viewfinder.
Where?
I hardly noticed it through my black and white viewfinder, but I'm sure I got it on tape.
Great, let's go see. Do your camcorder tapes play in a VHS recorder?
No.
Oh, well, my palm quarter tapes will.
Oh.
Why didn't you just get a palm quarter?
I don't know.
The choice is obvious. The Panasonic Palm Quarter. Its tapes will play in your VCR.
Do you want your car done right?
If you want your car done right, it has to be done by the right people.
We take care of our customers. We do the job right.
Quality all the way.
Experience counts. The customer comes first.
Satisfaction guaranteed.
We're only as good as our people. That's why Jiffy Lube is America's favorite oil change.
We got experience at Jiffy Lube.
Today's Phillies game on PHL 17 is brought to you in part by Jiffy Lube, America's favorite oil change. Your Quality Plus Ford dealers who invite you to come in and test drive the brand new 1993 Probe. And by the Pennsylvania Lottery. Lottery proceeds benefit older Pennsylvanians. Total tickets sold for the game today, 56,710. They are averaging 58,237. Every day their average goes down a little bit because they had 80,000 here for the opener. But they really pack them in here, and they're going to have a new ballpark in 2 years that seats slightly over 45 wheels. This is going to become a tough ticket.
It really will be the way the fans are coming at her. They're supporting both these expansion teams great, both at in Miami and also here in Denver. This ballpark is just not quite as nice as the one that they've been able to put together at Joe Robbie Stadium. I mean, they do the best they can with this, but because of the atmospheres, conditions here, you know, it's kind of a bandbox in left and left center, and the field itself is not good. Whereas at Joe Robbie Stadium, the surface there is very good.
And Joe Robbie, they're going to be in that for at least 5 years. They're talking of building a new stadium there, although they haven't selected a site as yet. Liriano leads it off, but here construction is already underway, and they'll play just 2 seasons in this ballpark.
Yeah, they're building it right downtown too, which is a great idea. That's the new way to build stadium. Build them downtown and let people walk there.
Liriano today that's a strike, by the way, on the appeal to Ron Barnes at third. So it's 0-2 on Liriano. He flied out to center field in his only at bat.
Tommy Green's challenge now is to keep his focus and keep pitching well.
Bouncing ball past the mound. Duncan charges. He's got it. Liriano is out. 1 down. Joe Girardi will bat for the first time. He's heading out of the 9-hole now. Rockies catcher batting .267, 1 homer, 17 runs batted in.
5 chances now for Duncan. Tommy Green's gotten a lot of outs on the ground today also, just like Mulholland yesterday.
Foul back. The light air brings him back here quick, too, Wheels.
That thing was smoking coming back here. 2 balls hit to the outfield today. 1 to Dykstra. 2 to Dykstra. 3 actually, and 1 to Chamberlain. So nothing like yesterday when Mulholland had none of them out there.
Here's a bunt by Girardi. He's going to have a hit. Bunt single for Joe Girardi. That's only the 3rd hit for the Rockies.
Well, you know, anything to get on, I guess. But if you're a right-handed hitter in this ballpark, you think you'd want to be hacking away. It's a slider, a breaking ball. He bunts it off the end of the bat in a perfect drag bunt. 9 runs down.
Eric Young, the leadoff hitter, comes up. He is 1 for 2 today, and Young is a big base stealer, but the one time he tried to go, he got caught. San Francisco beat Atlanta today by a 4-3 score. Tommy Glavine losing for the first time this year. Glavine is 7-1. Dave Burba got the win, and Rod Beck earned a save, his 13th.
Big for the Giants, going to beat Atlanta 2 out of 3 at home.
Houston beat Florida by a 2-1 score. Pete Harnisch got the victory in that ball game. The Dodgers, batting in the 9th inning, are trailing Pittsburgh 5-3 in the 9th. Their 11-game winning streak in jeopardy. Cincinnati beat the Mets today 8-4. Here's a fly ball, center field. Dykstra charging. Look out, Inky's coming too, but they communicated nicely, and Lenny made the play. And I know you cringe on a play like that.
Well, you do, exactly, because it's a tough place for the outfielders to play, Andy, because they play so deep, and you know, they have a tendency to, you know, they can run into each other here because everybody runs so hard for everything, and they got a heck of a head of steam up because they've been so deep when they started out, and you don't want Incaviglia running over anybody.
Shades of Greg Luzinski and Larry Boa. They still talk about it.
Oh yeah, he planted Boa in Dodger Stadium one night.
Alex Cole, the hitter. He's 0 for 2 today. One other National League game is in the 9th inning. Cardinals lead the Padres 10-4 in the 9th. That Chicago-Montreal game got underway. The Cubs got a run in the 1st. Now it's in another rain delay. They're in the bottom of the 3rd, and 1-0 Cubs.
Just mentioned Tom Glavine going 7-1. Tommy Green could be 7-0 after this one today.
And his earned run average 1.98. It'd be remarkable if he would lower an earned run average coming into this ballpark. Of course, Terry did yesterday.
We don't want to put all that on the board yet because we're only in the 6th inning. And
that is right.
You've seen the way the Phillies can throw runs on the board, and the Rockies did here the other night. At least on Friday night, they sure did.
Outside, 3 balls and 1 strike on Cole.
Green made a real bad pitch that time, and Darren Dalton motioning with his arm on what Tommy Green did with his arm, the way he dropped it.
Cole slaps a ground ball to Duncan. Play to first, and down they go. Rockies leave 1 on, no runs, 1 hit, and 1 left. Harry Callis and Rich Ashburn back in the 7th, and it's 9-0 Phillies.
To win the Pennsylvania Lottery's Cash 5 lump sum jackpot, just match 5 of 39 numbers. Any 5 numbers you're attached to. Cash 5. All the cash, all at once. When you win the Pennsylvania Lottery's Cash 5, you'll get all the cash all at once in 1 lump sum. It's a lot, but you can handle it. Cash 5. All the cash, all at once.
Seeing is believing. There's laughter coming through. You touch us, we'll touch you. It happens every day. Come watch us take your breath away. No wonder there's such wonder in their eyes.
Come make contact with another world. SeaWorld.
The time has come. The genuine article is on sale. Chrysler's National Minivan Sale. Visit the minivan store at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer for up to $2,600 in total savings on America's favorite minivans. Plymouth Voyager, Grand Voyager, Chrysler Town and Country. Save on quad seating, anti-lock brakes, and integrated child safety seats. The genuine article is on sale for a limited time only during Chrysler's National Minivan Sale. Only at the minivan store.
Norelco shaves incredibly close in exceptional comfort because Norelco's lift and cut system lifts the hair so when it's cut, it can drop below skin level without the blades touching your face. So with every shave, Norelco makes close comfortable.
After 6 innings of play, it's the Phillies 9 and the Rockies nothing. Tomorrow at 6:30, Al shows up at his 16th wedding anniversary empty-handed on Married with Children, only on PHL 17. And a couple of changes for the Rockies. Chris Jones has come into play center field. And the new pitcher will be Butch Henry, who started the first game of this series, the left-hander. Relegated to the bullpen now. Henry will bat in the spot vacated by Alex Cole. And Jones would bat in the number 7 spot vacated by Jeff Barrett. Butch Henry coming on, facing John Kruk. Kruk struck out, grounded out, and struck out. Breaking ball for a strike. Guess they brought that Henry in because they wanted him to face Dave Hollins.
Well, he's up next.
Kruk just serves it over the bag down the left field line for a double. He rolls into second easily as the ball came to a dead stop down the left field line, and John Kruk, a leadoff double.
He just kind of poked at that pitch, but he stung it a little bit off the end of the bat between Charlie Hayes and the bag.
Here's Hollins. He's nothing out of 3. Lifetime against Henry, 9 for 10, including 4 homers. Had 2 doubles off him Friday night. $56,710 the paid attendance here today. They're good fans. They don't get on these Rockies at all.
They don't even go home.
I know. They're great fans here.
If this were Los Angeles, this place would be empty with this score.
Fouls it out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike to Dave Hollins. John Kruk at second with nobody out here in the 7th. Inside, 2-1. Balls and 2 strikes. Just the second game out of the bullpen for Henry. He's had 10 starts, 2-6, 6.14 his ERA.
Phillies have scored 30 runs, and they've had 37 hits in this ballpark in these 3 games.
The series is going to boost the Colorado staff ERA to over 6.
Had 38 hits in this series.
Colorado's team ERA coming into this game was 5.95. Full count to Hollins. It's kind of like his first at bat on Friday night, except Kruk was at first base on that particular at bat. Hollins kept fouling off 3-2 pitches with Kruk running on the pitch. And then Hollins finally doubles, and Kruk did score, but he was really out of gas in this altitude when he got back to the dugout. Ooh. That ball was ripped foul. Three balls and 2 strikes to Dave Hollins.
If I were a pitcher getting hit like that, I'd have to plunk him in the back or something. That's unbelievable. 9 for 10, 4 homers.
About 10 another for 11. Kruk is going to be held at third base. 10 for 11 he is now off Henry. And the batter will be Darren Dalton. Dalton has popped up, hit a home run, walked. Leads the league in RBIs, leads the league in walks. That one down the left field foul line. Long run. Charlie Hayes can't catch up to it. Hit the top of the fence. Good effort by Charlie. Just could not catch up to it. Fans giving Charlie a round of applause for his effort.
That's a long run from where he started at third, and almost hit Frank Koppenbarger, Phillies clubhouse equipment manager.
No balls and a strike to Darren Dalton. Inside, 1-1. Jammed and fouls it back and out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Dalton a homer for every 11 at bats. He walks so many times he leads the league in walks that he's well out in the league lead in home runs per at bat. Just missed. 2-2.
Girardi wanted that pitch. It was close to the outside corner. High breaking ball and dangerous pitch to Dalton.
John Kruk is at third. Dave Hollins at first with nobody out. Phil's leading 9-0. Full count. just got a piece of it. Stays alive at 3-2. Walked in and load the bases.
He didn't want to walk. Wanted to swing.
Dalton now has 44 walks, leads the league in that department. Phillies have him loaded for Pete Incaviglia. Incaviglia has flied to right, twice singled. And Larry Bernarth is coming out now. Nobody is up in the Rocky bullpen, but they're quickly moving into action. So the Rockies are stalling for a little time. Andy Ashby starting to throw.
What can you say? You're down 9-0. Bases loaded. Nobody out.
Don't walk him, but don't give him anything to hit.
And you got that fence out there. Just, you know, 333 down the line isn't so bad, but it cuts out towards center field. So it's short all the way across.
You got a pitcher who's served up 10 home runs, and you have a very strong man at the plate. He hits it down the right field line. That's going all the way to the corner. Kruk scores. Holland scores. Here comes Dalton. He'll score. Incaviglia chugging to third. He's there with a stand-up triple. And the Phillies lead it 12-0.
Wonder what Bernarth told him. You don't see Incaviglia get too many triples. That's the second clearing hit, bases clearing hit the Phillies have had. Dykstra had one earlier, and now Incaviglia, and there's still nobody out. Going to keep the infield back.
One ball and no strikes to Wes Chamberlain, who is nothing out of 3. Incaviglia now with 32 RBIs. It's a lot of runs batted in for Incaviglia for the number of games that he plays. Incaviglia is playing his 33rd game, and he has 32 RBIs. And 6 of those games were as a pinch hitter. Chamberlain walks.
I've seen this happen. Played on a team that lost 120 games. This team won't lose that many.
Kim Baptiste is 1 out of 2 with a walk and pops a foul out of play. Fly ball to center field. Jones started back. Now he has to come in. Makes the catch. Here comes Incaviglia. The throw is cut off. Incaviglia scores standing, and the Phillies now lead it 13-0. Sac fly for Baptiste. And it'll bring up Tommy Green. Green's 2 for 2 with a 2-run home run and an infield single. He's knocked in 2 and scored 2. One strike to him. Tommy working on a 3-hit shutout. 2 strikes to Green. outside corner. Green is called out on strikes. It's out number 2, and that'll bring on Lenny Dykstra. For the 3rd straight inning, the Phillies have sent 8 men to the plate. Those got 5 in the 5th, 4 in the 6th, and have 4 here in the 7th. Strike to Dykstra. He's 2 out of 4. He has scored a run and knocked in 3. Check swing foul. 0-2. That one out of play. Still no balls and 2 strikes. Dribbles it down the first base side. Henry didn't get him. That'll be an error on Henry. He tried to pick it up with his glove and failed. And the Phillies had 2 men on base for Mariano Duncan, and the Bills have batted around.
Like an easy enough play.
Lenny Dykstra played every inning of every game now, is being taken out of the game. So he'll get a couple of innings off. The only innings he's had off all season, and Jim Eisenreich coming out to pinch run for him, and he'll stay in the game and play center. One strike to Duncan. Duncan is 1 out of 4. It was a 2-run home run. A strike. Ground ball fielded by Young nicely. Just got Duncan. That'll retire the side. For the Phils, 4 runs in the inning. 3 hits. 1 Colorado error, and 2 men left. Stretch time, we go to the bottom of the 7th. Phil's leading the Rockies 13-0.
Al Bundy shows you how to celebrate that special anniversary.
By the way, happy anniversary. Did you brush your teeth this morning?
No. You?
No. Happy anniversary, honey.
Be there for each other.
Anniversaries are about being together.
Yeah, you're right. I'll come home tonight. How's that?
On the next Married with Children.
Tomorrow at 6:30 on PHL 17.
You know, with this weekend coming up and all this great stuff at Builders Square, anything's possible. There was a cover-up at the White House, and I was in the middle of it. Halfway there, Mr. President.
Well, all right.
Be done long before your barbecue with the Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Allen.
Just doing my job, sir. You can save time, money, and maybe even your country. Builders Square, the warehouse and everything for your house this Memorial Day.
Infinity wondered what would happen if a luxury car stepped outside the traditional lines. Their designers drew an oval to create a cocoon-like feeling, pierced by an arc to project motion. That beautifully simple concept led to something simply beautiful, the J30. Visit your Infinity showroom and see what a luxury car looks like when it has a personality.
Hi, I'm Dick Vermeil with a Blue Cross Blue Shield health tip. Should you use cold or heat for sprains, strains, or swelling? Apply cold for 20 minutes at 1-hour intervals for the first 24 to 48 hours. After 2 days, use moist heat to speed the healing process.
Well, here's what's happened here today. After the Phillies didn't score in the first inning, they had a 5-run fifth. Or the first 4 innings they didn't score, a 5-run fifth, a 4-run sixth, a 4-run seventh. Tommy Green is retired, has pitched 6 innings, a shutout ball, 10 of 18 of those outs, ground balls. Phillies 3 home runs today, second in the National League with 49. 13-0 Phillies.
And Dante Bichette pops one up foul. Might be playable. Dalton has room and makes the grab. Bichette's out on 1 pitch. Jim Eisenreich staying in the game to play center field, replacing Lenny Dykstra. The first innings the dude has had off the entire year. Here's Andres Galarraga. He is grounded out and flied out to right. Tommy Green is trying to pitch his 4th straight complete game. Barring any late inning problems here for Tita Green, he is making a strong case for himself for Pitcher of the Month honors. Gary Wayne is up in the Rocky bullpen. Shutout. That is way out of here. Tremendous home run by Andres Galarraga. His 5th. And it's now a 13-1 ball game.
Tommy Green hasn't made many bad pitches today. That was a hanger. A hanging slider. And Galarraga hit it with about everything he had to hit it with. Believe me, he nailed it.
So it's 13-1. Just the 3rd home run of the year given up by Green.
See that? Harry, you could have hit that one. That was up right over the heart of the plate. Boom.
Fly ball into center field. Eisenreich is there. And that's 2 down. It'll bring up Charlie Hayes. Charlie is singled and grounded out. To deep right field. Chamberlain back, makes the catch at the warning track, and that will retire the side. 1 run on 1 hit, a homer by Galarraga, no errors and none left. We go to the 8th. Phil's lead 13-1.
This is your world, genuine and true. You're the one who keeps coming through, 'cause you're giving it your best.
Okay, panel. How can you recognize the genuine Yellow Pages?
It has a yellow cover.
Good.
It says Belle of Pennsylvania on the front?
Right.
It has more choices inside.
Yes! That's how you tell the genuine article from mere imitators. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
The genuine Belle of Pennsylvania Yellow Pages. 9 out of 10 use it. No other book can match it. A Bell Atlantic Company.
When you were a child, you were told we're all created equal. But now that you're a little older, you see things a bit differently. The new Lexus GS Luxury Performance Sedan. It's roomier, quieter, and rides smoother than cars costing thousands more. Maybe we are all created equal, but it doesn't have to stay that way. Now lease the GS at your Lexus dealer for treatment that's unequaled.
Today's Phillies game on PHL 17 is brought to you in part by your local Dodge dealers. Come in today because we know how to help. By AT&T, because you're not the same as anybody else. There's the I plan. And by the Bell of Pennsylvania Yellow Pages, no other book can match it, a Bell Atlantic company. Rockies have made a couple of changes. Gary Wayne is the new pitcher. And coming into play first base, just activated, is Pedro Castellano. Castellano will bat in the number 2 spot. Wayne would bat in the number 4 spot, vacated by Galarraga. John Kruk will lead it off for the Phils. Kruk is 1 out of 4. Fouls it out of play.
Wayne came in yesterday, did a nice job. Tied the Phillies in order. Haven't had many innings like that, though.
Perky jerky left-hander. Kind of tough to pick up for a left-hand hitter. That'll drop in center field because Jones plays so deep.
That's unbelievable. I mean, that should have been a ball that a center fielder hardly would move for. Wouldn't know how else to play him here, though.
Well, you shouldn't play that deep. Dykstra doesn't play that deep. Look how far he's almost to the warning track. Here's Dave Hollins. 1 ball and no strikes to him.
Yeah, you can't play that deep, Harry. You almost can't see him out there. Look how far back he is. There's a lot of grass between him and that infield.
Two balls and a strike to Hollins. Wayne was 3-3 with Minnesota last year, a 2.63 ERA. Oh, look at that ball. Deep left center field, and that ball is out of here. Home run, Dave Hollins. And the Phillies now lead it 15-1. Number 8 for Hollins.
That's 43 RBIs now. That was some kind of an off-speed pitch that was out away from Dave, and he just had almost full extension and couldn't reach out there. Goodness.
Here's Darren Dalton. Dalton's popped up, hit a home run, walked twice. It's knocked in a run. Leads the league now in RBIs. High towering drive, deep left. This ball is out of here. Home run, Darren Dalton. And the Phils now lead it 16-1. Number 14 for Dutch. Phils now have 51 homers, one ahead of Houston to lead the league in home runs.
Well, they've been pitching Dalton outside this whole series. He's hit 2 home runs in there now in the left field seats. He hit a double off the wall. And, of course, his other home run over the center field fence today. This is the original launching pad right here. They call Atlanta a launching pad, but it's nothing like this.
Really? No strikes to Incaviglia. Inky's 3 out of 4. including a 3-run triple. Fouls that one out of play. Given up only 1 home run this season coming into this inning. But has surrendered homers to Hollins and Dalton.
37 runs they've scored here so far in these 3 games.
Wow. The balls and 2 strikes to Incaviglia. Another hit. 4 straight hits for Incaviglia. That'll bring on Wes Chamberlain. He's hitless today. Nothing for 3 with a walk.
One ball hard to center, about 400 feet that was caught.
1-0. And now the Rockies will get some bullpen activity.
I'd like to be a guy relieving here behind 16-1 in the 8th inning.
It's Darren Holmes up in the bullpen. Two and 1 to Chamberlain.
Yesterday, the Rockies bullpen did a good job. They retired the last 16 batters, but the game was 6-0 when they did all that. Of course, Mulholland pitched the shutout.
Two balls and 2 strikes to Chamberlain. Fouls it out of play. Phillies now lead the league in runs scored, passing the Giants with this series here in Colorado.
About that Detroit club, twice this season they've scored 20 runs.
Got him with a changeup. Chamberlain goes down swinging. They'll bring on Kim Baptiste.
That ball might be souped up a little.
Well, Dallas Green thought so when he was scouting for the Mets before he became Mets manager. He thinks the ball is jacked up a little bit. There's been a lot of home runs hit. Of course, here at this park, the ball is just going to carry.
Yeah, you can't tell by here, but Ozzie Smith hit his first home run today, a 2-run homer in St. Louis. Whoa.
There goes another one. Out of here, home run, Kim Baptiste. His first. And the Phillies now lead it 18-1, the 6th Philly home run in this game.
I told Kim before the game this is his best shot to get his first. He nailed it. This is really getting a little...
Here's Tommy Green. He's 2 for 3, including a 2-run homer.
Whoa.
That's a fair ball. What a great play by Charlie Hayes, but no throw. It'll be a hit for Tommy Green. who almost has as many hits as he's given up. That's his third hit. He's only given up 4 hits. The batter will be Jim Eisenreich.
Eighth hitter in this inning, Eisenreich. 4 straight innings. Phillies had 8 hitters coming to the bat 3 innings and 9 1 inning.
Jim Eisenreich batting for the first time, came in for Lenny Dykstra. Dykstra went 2 for 5. Eisenreich is hitting at .333. Balls and a strike. Two and 2 to Eisenreich.
Those last 2 strike calls were mercy calls.
Fouls it out of play. Still 2 and 2. Ball to shortstop, gets away from Liriano, and it's safe all around. An error on Liriano.
Took a bad hop there on him. He had one yesterday that bounced up almost in that same area. Watch this ball come up. Came up a little higher than he thought. Probably should have fielded it, though.
Brings on Mariano Duncan. Dunk is 1 out of 5. That was a 2-run home run, and here comes Larry Bernard.
Last time he went out there, Incaviglia hit a bases loaded triple.
He might be out there to change the pitcher. I guess not. Phillies have batted around here in the 8th. Phil sent 8 men to the plate in the 5th, 8 men to the plate in the 6th, batted around in the 7th, and now have batted around again in the 8th. 1 ball and no strikes. Mickey Jordan is on deck to pinch hit for John Kruk and stay in the game and play first. One ball and 2 strikes. $18 to 1 Phillies. We are in the 8th inning. Just foul on the 3rd baseline. That was awfully close.
Can't catch a break, Harry.
Could be 2. And is a double play. Nice play by Gary Wade. Well, that'll retire the Phils here in the 8th inning. But the Phils put 5 on the board, including homers by Hollins, Dalton, and Baptiste. 6 hits, 1 error, 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's 18-1 Phils.
All-Pro quarterback Dan Marino.
When the game is over and the pain starts, I want 2 things from my pain-relieving rub: fast relief and no odor. So I use Sports Cream, a strong pain-relieving rub that doesn't make me smell like a medicine chest. I just massage in Sports Cream for fast, odor-free relief. Cream or lotion, Sports Cream sure gets my vote for fast relief and no odor.
I love saving money, but not at the expense of quality.
Same quality, same labels, same clothes.
The quality's the same. Why spend more?
They got me. Yeah, I'm a believer. I never think of going anywhere else. Today's Man made me a believer.
The savings are sensational on the suits of summer at Today's Man. Featherweight seersuckers or cotton-rich poplins beat the heat for just $99. Rich silk or luxurious linen blends are just $129 or 2 for $199. Today's Man, 30 to 40% below better department of men's specialty stores every day.
Your Hyundai dealer's celebrating because Hyundai sales are up 24%. So right now during the Hyundai Success Celebration, you can get up to $1,500 factory cash back. Buy an Excel for as low as $58.99 or an Elantra for as little as $83.99 after the factory savings. And every Hyundai comes with 2 years scheduled service at no charge. About all you pay for is gas. So join the Success Celebration at your Hyundai dealer today. Hurry into your nearest Hyundai dealer now. It's where cars make sense.
And good afternoon, I'm Neil Hartman with a sports break. In the National League this afternoon, after an hour rain delay, they're finally playing at Wrigley Field. Chicago leads Montreal 1-0 in the third. St. Louis over San Diego 10-4. Cincinnati 8, New York 4. Pittsburgh over Los Angeles 5-3. Houston 2, Florida 1. Barry Bonds with his 14th home run, a 3-run job as Atlanta lost to San Francisco by a final count of 4-3. It is 18-1. They're going to the bottom of the 8th at the launching pad out at Mile High. Let's go back to Richie and Harry.
All right, thanks, Neil. Kim Baptiste has moved from short to third base. Duncan has moved over from second to shortstop. Mickey Morandini coming in to play second base. And Ricky Jordan at first base. Leading off for the Rockies here in the bottom of the 8th is Chris Jones. Jones 2 for 7 since being called up from Colorado Springs. He's hitting .280 at Colorado Springs with 12 homers and 40 RBIs. Chases high gas. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ground ball backhanded by Duncan. Got him. Nice play by Mariano Duncan in the hole.
He really got a good jump on that ball. Once it got by Baptiste there at third, you thought maybe Phillies wouldn't be able to make the play, but got him by a half a stride.
Well, now's the time to vote for this year's 93 All-Star Game participants. Now's the time to show your support for the Phils. Darren Dalton, John Kruk certainly deserving. Dave Holland's having a fine year. Ballots are available at the Vet and at all Phillies games, plus local participating J.C. Penney stores. Show your Phillies support. Vote now for the All-Star Game. I certainly hope we don't see a repeat of last year just because of the name of Benito Santiago, who's hitting in the 220s. As heavens knows, Darren Dalton deserves to start that game.
Plus, they're getting a lot of fans in Florida for their games, and that makes a difference. And they love Benito down there.
Into left center field, Eisenreich. Oh, yeah, they looked at Incaviglia for a while, almost backed off the ball, but made the catch for out number 2. He's a good center fielder. He's a good outfielder. Good player is Eisenreich.
He gave Pete an early call on that, and Pete gave him some room. You wouldn't want to run into Incaviglia on the dead run.
Ask Warren Beatty. Here's Joe Girardi. He has a bunt single. Another hit for Girardi. And hit number 5 for the Rockies. They'll bring on Eric Young. He is 1 out of 3. Strike. Phillies have hit 6 home runs of that game. This ties the Phillies' all-time club record of homers in a game. In Phillies history, this is the 9th time that the Phillies have hit 6 homers in a game.
They did it once against Cincinnati. Remember that? Connie Mack Stadium. Almost had 7. Willie Jones hit a ball. It hit off the top of the fence out there, and he got a double out of it, but that would have been the 7th home run.
Darren Dalton has hit 2 home runs today. 6th time in his career he's had a 2-homer game as Young goes down swinging. 4th strikeout for Green. That'll retire the Rockies in the 8th. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. We go to the 9th inning. Phil's on top, 18-1.
You can feel it deep inside. Dedication and a real sense of pride. And you're giving it your best. Proud to be your bud. Budweiser. Proud to be your bud.
Mark your calendar and clear your schedule. The Phillies play the pitching powerful Atlanta Braves Monday, June 21st and Tuesday, June 22nd, both at 7:35, followed by an always popular business person special Wednesday afternoon, June 23rd at 12:35. Reserve your tickets by phone. Call 463-1000.
Cadillac has the answers important to you.
You feel better driving out of town, don't you?
Isn't it great having someone to call?
It says quality, doesn't it?
When you ask yourself what is important in a car, think of the questions you ask every day. Then think of the car with the answers important to you. The Cadillac DeVille, which also offers a financial answer. A $2,000 bonus direct from Cadillac. The Cadillac DeVille. See your Cadillac Super Network dealers.
Travel arranged through U.S. Air, offering 3 daily nonstops to Los Angeles. To the West Coast, everything we do, U.S. Air begins with you.
After 8 innings of play, it's the Phils 18 and Colorado 1. Weeknights at 7:30, they're out to stop crime on Real Stories of the Highway Patrol. Catch a special episode after tomorrow night's Phils-Reds game, only on PHL 17. Ricky Jordan leads off for the Phillies, batting for the first time. Came on for John Kruk. Krucker went 2 for 5. And Jordan leads it off with a base hit. So Ricky, a leadoff base runner. Hit number 19 for the Phillies. In the first 4 innings, the Phillies had only 1 hit.
Yeah, that's what's incredible. 4 of these innings, you know, were zeros.
Here's Morandini. He takes it low for a ball. Morandini batting for the first time. He's hitting at .218. Ground ball, first base. Fielded by Castellano. He'll make the unassisted out. Jordan moves up to second. 1 down. It'll bring on Darren Dalton. Dutch has popped up, homered, walked, and homered. He's knocked in 2 and scored 4. no strikes.
He's really been on a tear with RBIs. But just before he went on that tear, he was leaving some guys out there, and he was upset about it.
Has 8 RBIs in this series. .45 for the year to lead the league. Felton will probably take Wednesday off when the Phillies play Cincinnati. Todd Pratt will probably start that game against John Smiley. Felton's called out on strikes. That's out number 2, and that'll bring on Pete Incaviglia. He's had 4 straight hits. He's flied out, singled, tripled, and singled. Tying his career high for hits in a game. One ball and no strikes. Mitch Williams is up in the Phillies bullpen. He might come into pitching inning. Mitch needs the work. And we'll see if Tommy Green stays out there. Green has a string of complete games. Tommy has pitched 3 straight complete games, and I would imagine he would want to try to notch his 4th straight complete game.
I think he'll try to stay in there.
Two balls and a strike to Pete Incaviglia. Ground ball to second base. Young Fields throws Incaviglia out. That will retire the side. For the Phils in the 9th, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Phils lead the Rockies 18-1.
Some get to be governor when times are good. Not this governor. Jim Florio inherited a mountain of debt and faced a national recession. He made tough decisions, and this former boxer took some punches. You'll hear a lot about what Jim Florio has done wrong. Here's what he's done right. Florio's small business loans have saved and created jobs. People on welfare are now required to work, and welfare recipients cannot get extra benefits for extra children. Florio tightened clemency so criminals stay in jail, and Florio toughened death penalty laws. Florio stopped ocean dumping. Beach closings are down 97%. More mortgages are available for first-time home buyers. Assault weapons are banned. The gun lobby lost. Florio froze government salaries, and he refused a $45,000 pay raise. Now, instead of a deficit, we're making investments. Jim Florio, strong principles, tough decisions.
There's no better time to buy a new Plymouth Sundance than right now. Get all of Sundance's standard features, like a 2.2-liter engine, standard driver's airbag, and AM/FM stereo. Best of all, Sundance's low price, around $7.9. But you better hurry, because Sundance savings won't last long. Only at your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer, where real advantages make a real difference.
Bring your camera and take up-close pictures of your favorite Phillies on Kodak Photo Night, Saturday, June 5th, before the Phillies play the all-new expansion team, the Colorado Rockies, at 7:05. Reserve your tickets in advance. Call 463-1000.
Pedro Castellano leads off for the Rockies, takes a strike. Castellano just called up from Colorado Springs, where he was hitting .301. 7 homers and 30 RBIs. Takes 2 strikes. It's his first at bat in the Rockies uniform.
Kind of lost in this barrage of runs and hits is Tommy Green's really strong game again. 5 hits, 1 run, a home run by Galarraga. This could be the Bermuda Triangle for pitchers here. coming in here with a ERA of under 2, and so far he's improved on it.
Fouled off by Castellano. Castellano is 23 years of age. He's from Venezuela. Selected as the 6th pick in the 3rd round of the expansion draft from the Cubs. At 303 last year at Winston-Salem. Two balls and 2 strikes to Castellano. Full count. Struck him out. 5 strikeouts for T to Green. 1 down here in the 9th. Tommy now is just 2 out of the league lead in strikeouts, 2 behind Greg Maddux of Atlanta.
Hasn't walked a batter today. Hasn't run that many full counts, really.
Brings on Dante Bichette. The thing about Tommy, he's trying to pitch his 4th straight complete game, and in each one of them, he seems to be as strong in the 9th as he is in the 1st. I mean, he's throwing a good fastball here. One ball and 1 strike. It back and out of play. Ball and 2 strikes to Dante Bichette. That's a hit over the leaping Kim Baptiste. Bichette heading for 2nd. Safe on a close play. A double for Bichette.
Ball got out there in that left field grass and just kind of almost plugged.
Gerald Clark will come up.
One of the few bad pitches he's made, a high slider again. That was what Galarraga had hit out of the ballpark earlier.
Clark batting for Gary Wayne, hitting at .250. As a pinch hitter, he is 2 for 8. One ball and no strikes to Gerald Clark. Chase the high fastball. Bullpen ball loose. Larry Anderson was loosening up a little bit. Now Mauser's going to throw a few. 2 balls and 1 strike. Tip 2-2. Dante Bichette at 2nd with 1 down. Phil's leading 18-1 here in the bottom of the 9th. Struck him out. That's 6 strikeouts for T to Green. 2 down here in the 9th. It'll bring on Darrell Boston, who was grounded out, struck out, and flied out.
fastball. Fly ball right field, not deep, should be the ball game. Wes Chamberlain makes the grab. Another complete game for Tommy Green, his 4th straight complete game. He is really making a strong case for himself for Pitcher of the Month honors with 4 straight complete games, beating the Rockies 18-1 and hit a 2-run home run. Phils win by a score of 18-1. Dalton a couple of homers. Phil's pounded out 6 home runs here today and won at 18-1. We'll be back with the totals and a recap in just a moment.
This Elantra is going on a trip. So is this one. This one's going to Grandma's house. This one's winning a 4-day, 2,000-mile endurance race. Imagine, a family sedan tough enough to be a World Rally champion. So, if you want years of trouble-free trips to Grandma's house, drive a car that's already been over the river and through the woods. The Elantra from Hyundai.
Yo, Phillies fans, here's the pitch. You, the Phillies, San Diego. It's the Jiffy Lube Coca-Cola Phillies road trip. Go to Jiffy Lube and you could win an all-expense-paid trip for 4 to the Phillies-Padres game in sunny San Diego. Round-trip airfare, deluxe hotel accommodations, and meals are all included. But hey, you can't win if you don't enter at any participating Jiffy Lube before June 30th.
There's a lot of great things about Builders Square, but you know what I like best?
Too busy? We can install.
Help finds you, not the other way around.
Comes in 8 styles.
Computer match any color.
Need any help?
Nah.
Builders Square, the warehouse with everything for your house.
Baby Ruth, Baby Ruth.
My baby isn't beautiful, it looks a lot divine, but if it didn't look so funky,
Well, it wouldn't taste so fine. Baby Ruth. If it didn't look so funky, it wouldn't taste so fine. Yo!
baby, come on with the peanuts.
Well, it's all the stuff I crave.
They make it lumpy, make it bumpy.
But they make it my fame. Baby Ruth. If it didn't look so funky, it wouldn't taste so fine. Baby Ruth, Baby Ruth. Yo!
Phillies pounded out 19 hits, 6 of them homers, 2 by Darren Dalton, 1 by Kim Batiste, 1 by Tommy Green, 1 by Mariano Duncan, and 1 by Dave Hollins, and beat the Rockies by a score of 18-1. For the Phils, 18 runs, 19 hits, no errors, 6 left. Rockies a run, 6 hits, 3 errors, they left 4. Tommy Green boosts his log to 7-0 this month of May, the merry month of May for Tita Green. He's 5-0 with 4 straight complete games. Lance Painter lost it, he's 0-2. Our next telecast here on the Phillies television network tomorrow night from Riverfront Stadium, Cincinnati. Good pitching matchup. Kurt Schilling against Tim Belcher. We'll be on the air at 7:30 for the first of a 3-game series with Davey Johnson's Cincinnati Reds. Check your local listings for the games carried in your area. Once again, the final score of today's game here at Mile High Stadium. The Phillies 18 and Colorado 1. For Rich Ashburn, Andy Musser, and Chris Wheeler, Harry Callis saying thanks a lot for watching. We'll talk to you tomorrow night from Cincinnati on the Phil's Television Network.
The Phillies and the Colorado Rockies has been brought to you by Budweiser. Fresh, pure, natural, proud to be your Bud. By the Bell of Pennsylvania Yellow Pages. No other book can match it. A Bell Atlantic company. By Mellon PSFS, the official bank of the Phillies. And by Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield. Carry us for life.